Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're about to get started. Thank you for being present today at the COVID Mental Health and Wellness Community Day, celebrating our fathers in the community. June is June is Men's Health Month. And one of the things that we really wanted to stress is men's health includes mental health. And sometimes the strongest individuals that we look to are the last ones to seek that helping hand. But the COVID Mental Health and Wellness Program is here to hopefully change all of that. And doing so, of course, is all about the awareness and making sure that we're all aware that mental health should be prioritized. And with that said, we are proudly funded by Miami-Dade County, and we have the support of our wonderful mayor, Daniela Kava, and she is amazing, and she is represented here today by Susan Holtzman from the mayor's office. And we'd like to give her, Susan, please.
And so I work in the mayor's office, and those are the three areas I cover. And this is the first time that there's ever been a mental health advocate in the office of the mayor, and I'm really proud to have that role. Mayor Levine Cava is very much aware of the impact that mental health and emotional wellness have on all of us and the influences, and we're really looking at that. You know, a lot of the influences have to do with security and stability, so making sure that we have a place to live and that we have food to eat. But also the idea of being conscious and aware and able to talk about the fact that, you know, just as our bodies can get sick, our minds can have problems too. And when that happens, we need to address it. We need to get help, seek help, go to a doctor, do some yoga, and really understand the impact that can have on our minds and the impact that has on the people around us, our families, our communities, our co-workers. So the importance of that. So I'm very pleased to be here with you. I have my business cards. I've met a lot of you. If there's any way that I can be helpful to you, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Working with Ruben and his team at RER, we're going all over the county. I also encourage everyone to take the survey, because the survey data is very important. We're going to be looking at that internally in the county to see what the needs of our residents are. So thanks for being here. And thank you for the incredible food. I would not have, that breaks all my rules, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Susan. And I just want to say for those of you who are here, the importance of the topic of discussion today, I'm sure you all know, especially during times like these. So we're dealing with a lot of issues. We're dealing with, the economy that seems to be unstable, going into a recession. We're dealing with issues where prices are going sky high and wages are being pretty much stagnant. Those of you who work for a living know, it's harder to survive off of what you're bringing in on a daily basis because of how high the wages are. Even just thinking about commuting back and forth to work, just to drive to work can cost quite a bit of, coin. So I think that's something that we need to be mindful of as well. And so we're here to celebrate today. We have another panelist coming in. He always makes an interest, everyone, so you just, whatever you want to say. He always makes an interest. So one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we help you to understand the importance of mental health and wellness. That's why we had Shante here today. Because a lot of times we're just so stressed out, right? We are under such stress or duress or depression that we normalize it. We don't even realize it until you do an exercise like the yoga routine and you realize, oh my God, I had this. I didn't realize I was suffering from so much stress, and like you said, ma'am, your mind even freed up, right? And so this is the thing that we want to do. We want to associate mental health and wellness. Now, one of the things that RER is tasked to do is to dispel the stigma behind mental health. Because when people think about mental health, they think about weakness. They think about there's something that is weak within you. And that's not the case. All of us suffer from situational issues. Again, stress, depression can be situational. It can be brought on by economic issues. It can be brought on by other environmental issues. But if it's not dealt with appropriately, if you have no form of release like the yoga exercises, if you have no form of release of a functional release, not some things that folks tend to do that are dysfunctional. Some folks self-medicate, and that is very dysfunctional. We have folks on the panel that will talk about that today. And some folks get into abusive relationships or combative relationships. We have folks on the panel that can talk about the relational issues that's related to stress, duress, and that sort of thing. And so these are all a part of what happens to us from a mental perspective. And we dismiss a lot of it because we normalize it. It's just a daily functional thing. If you seem to be involved with more combative relationships, or you're drawn to that type of relationship, if you seem to be more, looking for some sort of outlet that is not the most proper thing for you to do, that can be as a result of just you responding to some of the stress and the pressures that you're dealing with every day. For parents, I see we have some kids here, for parents, just dealing with some of the issues that the kids bring up. You know, their reality is not our reality. What's important for them and what's a right now situation for them may not be a right now situation for us. And so one of the things that we have to do is learn how to navigate those waters as we go along. Did you have something to say, Jake? Okay. So today we have some great partners here. We have the Children's Trust, we have Thriving Minds, we have Celebrate Recovery, we have Citrus, we have NAACP, we have Easter Seal, we have some great partners here. Walmart, for those of you who want to, those of you who are interested in getting your blood pressure checked or any of those vital signs, or if you're interested in receiving a vaccination shot, you can see Walmart. You raise your hands, and they're immediately behind the screen. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. We had a long day, and I want us to get started with our talk. In the interest of time, I'm going to allow the panelists to introduce themselves and tell you which agencies that they're from. My name is Ruben Roberts. I'm the CEO of RER Consulting, and two signature programs at RER Consulting is COVID Mental Health and Wellness Program and Teen Talk. So we're here today to have this discussion about Men's Month, Men's Mental Health Month, and we want to make sure that that you guys can ask questions and be involved in this process. I want to also encourage you to go to our website, mymentalhealthmiami.com. Fill out the survey. The survey is at the right top hand corner, mymentalhealthmiami.com. For those of you who are in need of any additional services, we also encourage you to reach out to our care coordination team at 786-433-8487. Our care coordination team will link you to services on the sliding scale fee. They're sponsored by New Horizons. And so they will link you to services. So if you're calling, if you're realizing as a result of this broadcast that we are, because we're on live right now on Facebook, so we encourage all of you to share the link so your network can participate. Kim will let you know how to share the link where you should go. But I want to make sure that you share this with folks. So those of you who are watching, if you have family members who can't get out of bed, who struggle with, just having to drink strong, who struggle with energy issues, where they just feel like they just don't have enough energy to move, or who get very anxious over little things. I mean, anxious, the anxiety is through the roof. If you have family members that are dealing with those things, if you have children that are struggling in school, struggling with friends, making good, strong connection, positive connections, and you're attempting to, your daughter's laughing, by the way. Trying to get them to connect with positive people. This is where you need to be to watch. You're going to get some very good information. For fathers, we have someone here today to really talk to you about, from a male's perspective and from a black male's perspective, what's important for fathers in terms of mental health and wellness, what we can do to deal with some of the stresses that we're facing as well. So without further ado, I'll start with Michelle. She'll share with her information about her background and her organization. And thank you so very much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having us. So my name is Michelle Shirley, and I'm the CEO and Chief Heart Officer for Be Strong International. We're celebrating 30 years this year of service in Miami-Dade County. Yes, that's an amazing feat for a nonprofit, believe me. But one of the things that we focus on is moving individuals and families from brokenness to wholeness. And when we speak of brokenness, we're talking about the negative trauma, the experiences, the things that people face that keep them from walking in their true purpose. All of the things that might affect them socially, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. We want to give those individuals and families the tools and resources all through healthy relationship education so that they can face those truths, overcome those barriers to success, and live very purpose-filled lives. We have a variety of programs. We have youth programs, parenting programs, programs for married couples, and then we also have extended our arm into the community. So again, all of it is healthy relationship education. How do we teach young people to be safe? How do we help them understand what it means to look out for being isolated or in a toxic relationship? What is love? How do they define that? How do they keep themselves in a safe space? How do they continue to respect their parents or caregivers' values while they're in relationships? Things that teens don't think about, and these conversations don't happen, as a matter of fact, when you're 15, 16. Same thing with parents. We're living in a time, especially in Miami, where there's just so much movement of different types of families coming into our city. And how do parents have this constant, healthy conversation with their teens? How do they raise resilient children in a time where things are very chaotic and can be crazy? And so we empower those parents and we strengthen them, and we hope that they can find communities of Me Too, right? That they are not the only ones struggling with how to raise their children. And then of course, married couples, we saw the divorce statistics on the rise during COVID because people had to face the reality of being at home with each other. And so how do we have couples regain intimacy? How do we strengthen the family? How do we help them learn how to communicate, fight fair, and all of those things? So, and of course on the community level, we do amazing events and bringing nonprofits together with similar missions so that we can again move people to wholeness. So if you want to learn more, visit bestrongintl.org.
Thank you, that's awesome. I can't wait to get back to partner with you. Hi, and my name is Jackie Rodriguez. I'm here wearing a couple hats today. I work for Hope Center Ministries. I'm the admissions coordinator. We provide affordable one-year residential substance abuse treatment. It's faith-based. We've been around since 2007. However, we just opened up our first men's center here in Miami, and it's our first major city and first bilingual center. I'm very excited to be on board that because I understand this sector of recovery, as I'm myself in recovery, and I understand how hard it is, number one, to afford it. Number two, probably, actually I should put that as number one, is just the mere fact of accepting that I actually have a problem and need help. And then the other hat I'm wearing is I also am here on behalf of Celebrate Recovery, which is a faith-based 12-step support ministry. We have been around 31 years. We are in churches throughout. I'm also the state representative for the Miami-Dade and Broward County area, so I oversee all the Celebrate Recoveries. And the biggest thing we've had in our recovery sector, just like the mental wellness sector, is the stigma of what it really is. You know, people hear recovery and right away they think it's drugs and alcohol. However, mental wellness and recovery go hand in hand. I can tell you from my own personal experience, my vices were not because I was into those vices. My vices were because I had mental health issues that came from dysfunctional upbringing and just different traumas throughout my lifetime that I just never knew how to deal with. So I'm very excited to be part of both of those organizations because, again, I'm very passionate about recovery, very passionate about mental wellness, very passionate about getting help when you believe that you're not the only one. I feel Celebrate Recovery, because it is faith-based, we're the emergency room, the ICU of the church. You know, church is great. I love my church, but honestly, I've just gotten so much more in the circles at Celebrate Recovery because people are very real, very transparent, and you're going to find that you aren't alone, and that you're going to hear people sharing some intimate things about their lives and what they've been living. And that's why this works, is because then you realize, wow, I wasn't going to say anything, but like I feel comfortable sharing this because what I'm listening to, I see I'm not here alone. So please come check us out, and I'm very excited to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Good afternoon again. My name is Shantae Haymore Kearney. I am a wellness strategist and a trauma-informed yoga and meditation teacher, and I'm the founder of Brown Goddess Collective, which is a wellness community that I created for Black and brown women to have a space to come together and practice the tools of mindfulness, meditation, and yoga, and much like what you just said, really have a space to connect and to be supported and to empower each other. I've been teaching yoga and mindfulness in the South Florida area for 11 years, for 8 years before I started Brown Goddess Collective, and I did so out of a response for a personal need. My son at the time was like 2 years old, maybe a year and a half, and it was around the time of Eric Gardner and Mike Brown's murders, and just a lot of other, really tragic American crises that impacted me as a Black American in a particular way, and as a mom and as a wife. And so I wanted to create a space where we could have an opportunity to reflect and get support and also grow together. And so we've been doing that for the past 3 years. We go on wellness retreats to North Carolina and really also use nature as a spiritual practice, to connect with nature and to be outdoors and to explore how health and wellness can even be outside of the walls of the gym or a home or mobile apps, which I'm also a big fan of. But there's, the health and wellness looks all kinds of ways, and nature is definitely a big catalyst for me. And so I'm here because I like to help people find their light. I like to help people learn how to cope with stress. And I like to help people be in community together so that we can grow and just make great things happen.
Am I really supposed to follow all this? But listen, it's some amazing panelists here, and I'm humbled just to be a part of this great panelist. And I can see a lot of connection that I definitely want to make, and hopefully we can do great works in the future with a fantastic partnership. But my name is Bernard Hawkins. I'm with Fathers MIA. Fathers motivated, involved, and active. I know a lot of you was thinking fathers missing in action, but fathers motivated, involved, and active. We want to move those fathers that are missing in action to motivated, involved, and active. We deal with a lot of fatherless kids who want to be a part of their father's life. Maybe for one reason or another, maybe death or maybe a strain, the relationship is not there. So we try to help these kids who need the guidance of a male, a positive male influence. If you look at our communities, a lot of our community is missing the guidance of that male role model. We as a people, we as humans, we gravitate to male authority, whether it be young boys gravitate to the authority of the streets, or the authority of the male figure that's positive in their lives. Young girls, they want the love of their father. If that's not there, then they'll gravitate to the love of whoever is giving them those kind words. May it be deceptive or may it be true, but they gravitate to whatever male figure that has some kind of simulated love. But we want to be able to help these kids navigate through life, change the narrative. And we also want to help these kids gain a relationship with their fathers. We want to be able to show men that you are important, that kids do, your child does need you in their lives. And of course, throughout this panel, I will give you some of the statistics of a fatherless child, and you will see the devastation that it has in the lives of a child whose father is not actively involved. But my organization, Fathers in My Aid, you can look us up, fathersinmyaid.org. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and also I think Twitter. Even though I never run the Twitter, we have someone running that for me. But I am actively involved in the Facebook because I guess that's my generation. But yeah, we want to help heal our land. In order to heal the land, we must start with the family, that unit. I always tell the male, you don't have to, even though it would be good, you don't have to be in the home, but you need to be in the life of your child.